Welcome to Das Boat, Season 2, Dose Boat. Now, in Season 1, we bought a boat on the internet, sight unseen. This is what we got.
This is my boat. I'm selling from neutral. I think we just broke the shifter.
That boat traveled to 5 different fisheries in 3 different states across more than 1,400 miles and somehow,
What was that?
survived the journey. For Season 2, we've got a new old boat. We like to call it Dose Boat, one well stocked with fishing memories. It was owned by my childhood fishing mentor, a feller by the name of John Gary. We're gonna drag this classic craft across the upper Midwest, hand her off to some of our favorite anglers, give her a few upgrades, and take her to places she has and has not been before, and maybe catch a few fish.
Got a muskie.
And like last season, there will probably be some bad ideas along the way.
Oh shit. The trailer's rolled. Wow.
Whoa.
This is Das Boat. In the last episode, Das Boat made her way down the Menominee River, learning a little about the proposed mine that may threaten that river and catching big-ass bronze smallmouth bass. They also managed to catch themselves a toothy and delicious northern pike. In this episode, she's headed 3 hours west to north-central Wisconsin, where we'll get about as serious and as casual as freshwater fishing gets. First, we'll target the northern pike's big brother, the wolf to the coyote, the infamous Musky. Second, we'll go the opposite direction and relive the simple joy of catching a cooler full of panfish for a fish fry. Some anglers, like Oliver Nye here, put their natural aptitude for problem solving into catching large, difficult fish they have no intention of eating. You'll probably remember Oliver from last season's Lake Okeechobee largemouth bass episode.
Find some bait.
Yeah.
Find some bass.
This season, he's joined by my buddy, Kevin Harlander from First Light.
Round 1, let's roll.
Kevin, he's a diehard elk and deer hunter and has a good, healthy background in Midwest pan fishing. We figured these two would make a good pair for a difficult challenge, but before they can get to fishing, they need to do a little work on Das Boat.
Look at this StarCraft.
What year do you think this thing is?
I'm guessing the 1800s.
Some artistic oar locks. Got that Yeti mount. That's sweet.
I hope they don't mind a couple new dents in it. All right, Green Machine needs a couple upgrades. We're gonna be fishing muskies on the lakes especially. I'd like to see a trolling motor of some kind on here.
Yeah.
And some semblance of electronics.
Yeah.
And we're gonna definitely need to figure out a solution for the sunfish.
Yeah.
And keeping live bait and such. So to save some space, why don't we utilize this seat
There we go.
and turn this thing into a homemade live well like we used to do back in the day.
Yeah, I like it. A little aeration in there. Pop a couple holes. We'll be all right.
And you might be able to put a couple of big sunnies in there.
Oh, yeah. I like it. So we got to get a trolling motor, some electronics. Gonna build out this live well. Hayward Marine's our destination. We should probably head there, get that rigged up, and hit the water.
Let's do it.
All right. It's cool to be back. This is kind of like the home country for me, you know? I don't nearly make it back enough.
And I actually spend as much time in this upper Midwest as I do back at home the last 3 or 4 seasons.
Do you find there's like a lot of people up here fishing
Absolutely.
compared to other places in the
Like
world?
even just pulling in the gas station this morning,
yeah.
there's a tractor
Yeah,
boat.
yeah. And those guys walking down the road with a tackle box and 2 poles, you see those guys?
Yeah, because if you see any semblance of fishing culture in Southern California, it's like, oh, crap, look, a fisherman.
Yeah, yeah,
But up here, it's literally a way of life.
yeah. I always find too that always coming back to the Midwest, I'm sort of shocked at the information share. You know, there's like spots and like what's going on. And you get that in the West with fly shops, but it's kind of the classic, like, yeah, They hit PMDs in the evening near the hatch, and it's like, yeah.
Super big.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just like a West Coast
Yeah, it
culture
could be,
thing.
man.
Because like, especially in bass fishing, dude, it's hush hush.
Yeah.
And like people lose friendships over, you know, definitely a little different out here.
Hey, man.
Howdy.
How's it going, Kevin?
Andy.
Good to meet you, man. This is Oliver.
How's it going, Oliver? Pleasure.
Nice to meet you guys. Welcome to Hayward Marine.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us in.
So, what's going to be our project today?
Man, where are we starting?
I need a trolling motor up front.
Trolling motor,
I need underwater eyes, so we need a graph.
graph.
And we gotta turn that ice chest into a makeshift live well.
That's unique.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. All right, so first thing, we're going to be mounting here. And
Is it good that it flexes?
no, it's definitely not good. We're probably going to have to reinforce this with some poly, pull out the old wood and reinforce that because the new trolling motors, they are heavy and they do create quite a bit of flex.
Now, the trolling motor was invented by Minn Kota way back in 1934, but the deployable bow-mounted units popular today didn't exist when Das Boat came off the assembly line almost 50 years ago. Her front end needs added strength and stability to hold all that added weight.
Originally when this came in, there was no bracing underneath whatsoever. We're talking really tiny, thin tin. So we got a poly board here to hold this all together.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
In preparation for catching panfish, they need a live well. A good live well needs to aerate the water and keep a stable temperature. Converting an old cooler, especially one that's already had holes drilled into the top of it to mount a seat on it, makes for a simple and relatively affordable upgrade,
What's really sweet about this system, it's pretty inexpensive.
especially if life has put you into a situation whereby you get free Yeti coolers.
We've got one 12-foot long piece of PVC, cut it into two 22-inch pieces with two 10-inch crossbars, and then a couple elbows, PVC elbows. We got some primer and some PVC glue, a screen so we don't suck all our minnows into the intake, a bilge pump, an aerator end here, and it's pretty simple. We're gonna throw it all in this Yeti, and we're gonna have basically a sweet at-home made live well.
Dude, that's money.
I think actually it might work. Boom.
And we can still sit on it. I'm out. All right, make sure you got the positive.
I
and
heard
the
something.
negative. Oh, snap.
Oh yeah.
We've got a working bilge.
And a homemade live well, just like that.
And we're gonna have some happy leeches and happy minnows,
That's right, Minners.
as they call them in Texas. Andy, thank you, man. We could have done it without you, but it would have sucked.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you.
We'd have been here for like 3 days.
Hey, it's what I do for a living. I really appreciate you guys coming in and handing the project over to me. Went well.
We'll try not to break it in less than a day.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Thanks
Look,
again.
appreciate
All right,
Appreciate
thanks.
it.
Yep.
See you guys.
For the past few weeks, this area has been roasting in a midsummer heat wave, which does not bode well for musky fishing, especially during the day. The boys have to set their alarms for 2 a.m. in order to be on the water well before first light. During the summer, muskie tend to feed most consistently before sunrise. Once the sun hits the water, their chances of finding active fish start to drop, so the window of prime opportunity is narrow. Oh yeah, and they're also fishing a lake that neither of them has ever even seen before. So good luck, guys. Better you than me.
Guys in Minnesota just push them off, huh? That's cool. All right, boys, it's the same process I go through everywhere I travel to. A lot of new water, not a whole lot of intel. Open up the topographical map and you can see a layout of the entire lake here. And right away, all the obvious stuff. Main Lake Point here, a little bit of an island, a saddle, shallow bays. I think we hit all of this high percentage stuff. You got a little inflow here. Could be some moving water with the rain. We're gonna start around this outside and then fish all this shallow stuff. And this lake's small enough, we could just make a little run around the entire perimeter and call it good.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
Though he's only been targeting muskie for a few years, Oliver brings the same passion and intensity that propelled him to the top of the big bass scene in California to his new obsession. He's been all over the Midwest recently, trying to master the muskie.
Oh my gosh.
Muskie are known as the fish of 10,000 casts for good reason. They eat when they want to and have a maddening habit of being non-committal about hitting lures. Just seeing a fish is considered a form of success. Catching one in an outing is tremendous. Although Kevin grew up fishing just across the border over in Minnesota, mainly for panfish, he is a first-time muskie angler, and he's looking to Oliver throughout the day to help him understand how to target muskie. It all starts with smooth and efficient casting.
3 feet of line.
3
You
feet.
start parallel to the water and parallel to the water. One smooth motion.
Okay. Try this out.
It will work.
Yeah. The idea is to cover some water, don't waste your time.
Yeah, this should be when they're positively engaged with our super fake offerings. So you shouldn't have to finesse them like that.
Yeah.
To find muskie, you have to cover lots of water. As a top predator, their population densities are naturally lower than any other fish species. And since they only eat when they feel like it, success depends on putting the right bait in front of the right fish at just the right time. Oliver has brought along a selection of top water lures and some big swim baits dressed up with skirts and spinner blades to add flash and vibration. The guys are fishing proven baits through the early morning window when the muskie should be most active, but so far, they're not getting any action. Oliver takes some time to explain the figure 8, a technique designed for predatory fish that might follow a lure all the way to the boat without actually hitting the damn thing.
One of the first common mistakes I see with guys that see their first muskie engaging a bait near boat side is they freeze and they stop working the bait. And they just lose it right then and there because they're in awe of this 4.5 foot fish tailing their artificial lure, when you have to stay super focused and keep that bait engaged and that focus from that fish on your bait. Okay, then you can get into the mechanics.
Okay.
And as I approach my 8, I've learned that I can actually lead it into my 8 by swinging it out as it approaches the boat and then creating more of a big oval instead of the actual figure 8 with these tight turns, because it's harder for them to turn their full body and get it.
Got it.
So I'm trying to actually make it as easy for that big predator to capture its prey as possible. So a bigger, wider circle or oval tends to convert more of those fish for me. Oh, he's got it! On the figure 8! Get the net, Scott! Oh, that was awesome! Get him! Get him! Yeah! Oh, look at that!
Expecting to catch a muskie on your first day of fishing in a brand spanking new lake is cocky. People like to call these fish the fish of 10,000 casts, which means, of course, it takes about 10,000 casts to catch something. In fact, some people would call that figure conservative, but let's take it at face value and do some math here. Let's say they're averaging 60 casts per hour. That would equate to roughly 167 hours of fishing per muskie caught. But they haven't got 167 hours. They got 1 day. And really, if you take into account the fact that muskie only bite well from just before dawn to just after it, they're looking at about 4 hours of prime opportunity, which gives them a roughly 0.2% chance of actually catching a muskie. So yeah, expecting to catch one, I'd call that cocky.
Oh, there's one!
Yes. Fuck yes.
Here she comes. Get that thing. Woo! Got a muskie. All right, guys, got our first fish of the day here. A little 30-inch class muskie. There we go, just like that. Get that out of the way. Quick lift and show. We got our first
beautiful
muskie.
thing. Hell yeah.
Yeah, smell that thing. Smell that?
Oh yeah.
Success, baby.
All right.
Sometimes being cocky pays off. Oliver gets the fish back in the water quickly and holds it until it swims away strongly to ensure a successful release.
There, back
Give her a little
down.
back tickle.
That's right.
I'm not entirely sold on musky fishing, but this was pretty cool. They're fishing a new lake in an unfamiliar boat. For an elusive top predator, I am impressed that they pulled this off. The prime bite window has passed and water temps are starting to rise. Muskie do not tolerate warm water real well, so it's a good idea to quit fishing early in the day during summer heat waves. Besides, they actually caught a muskie. I mean, I had very little confidence in this episode, but holy crap, it worked. With that out of the way, it's time to change things up and do a little of the fishing that I personally get very excited about, meat fishing. Whereas muskie represent the pinnacle of fishing challenge around here, panfish, especially average or smaller sized ones, are often painted as the opposite, better suited to little kids with bobbers and Snoopy rods than serious anglers.
Change your gears, baby.
It's hot.
It is hot.
I mean, it's 7:20 in the morning and it's like 80 degrees outside.
And we got way too much sun.
So we're gonna try to catch some panfish. God bless them. So I'm just re-rigging right now. I don't know what you got going on over there, but I'm gonna rig a slip bobber setup just to a straight hook and a leech.
Okay.
So maybe we'll throw in some wax worms or some plastics or something too and just see.
Yeah, man, let's show them a couple different options. I'm actually tying up a 4-pound leader,
Sweet.
going pretty light here. We used to be all about that 2-pound life, but I ain't got that with me, so we'll work with 4. And I'm rigging a drop shot rig. Not too many fish can pass up an earthworm. Uh-oh, uh-oh. There's some life in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's not too many times I feel like a winner. I feel like a winner right now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I might be onto something.
Get them, wrangle them.
Oh, man, it's bycatch. It's the wrong species. I'm every person on Instagram. I remember my first time pan fishing. I was terrible at it, but not this time.
That away. Ooh, dude, that's a giant.
Here it comes.
Get it. Oh yeah. Dude, those are piglets, huh? Quarter size fish.
Quarter size.
Dude, pretty relaxing now. Kind of a shift.
Yeah, it's a different change of conditions. It's not really conducive for musky fishing, so hence the shifting in tactics and target species. But it sounds like you did quite a bit of this pan fishing growing up here in the Midwest, huh?
Yeah, it's just so accessible, man. I think growing up just around here, basically on the other side of the border, we kind of our whole summertime and wintertime was based around fishing. Just with our grandpa and family, and everybody in the family did it.
That is cool, man. And from an outsider looking in, like, that's not something we see a ton of in Southern California.
Yeah.
Especially where I grew up. Yeah, so to actually meet people that live that experience is pretty cool and fascinating to me. And
Yeah.
being in this part of the country, seeing how common that is.
Yeah.
Like, fishing is a true part of the culture up here.
Yeah, certainly, man. I think what's interesting, though, from your perspective, having basically been self-taught and then sort of mentored along the way, like we're talking about, I think what's cool, though, is you take it, like, I kind of leisurely fish now, you know? Whereas I didn't grow up, like, hunting every waking second, and now, like, I can't get enough. So you sort of, like, take what you know for granted sometimes, right?
Absolutely.
So it's
Especially
interesting
in
to see that,
fishing.
like, drive, right? It's like catch the biggest fish on the planet everywhere you go. That's pretty cool, man.
Fishing with worms to fill the live well with panfish is no less valid than chasing muskies with fancy lures. Just because you liked fishing for sunnies as a kid doesn't mean you can't enjoy doing the same thing as a grown-up. Fishing is diverse, it's expansive. That's part of what makes it so much damn fun. If you've forgotten and started taking fishing too seriously, try it sometime. Take your 7-year-old self fishing again. You might be surprised.
Lunker of the day. Pretty proud of it. Like seriously, if you can't enjoy catching little fish, you don't deserve to be chasing big fish, in my opinion.
An afternoon spent pan fishing brings an added bonus, a cooler full of food. The guys head over to a northern Wisconsin standby Old Bogey's bar to drink a couple beers while they prep their catch.
I got an idea. I think we should save these skeletons. Ditch the guts and the head.
Yeah. We heard a little trick from our buddy Cal that the skeletons, when fried, battered and fried, apparently are quite the delicacy.
Only one way to find out.
You got a name for these things, the skeletons yet? I got a good one. That's why I led that, because I got a probably better
Okay.
one. Skettle chips.
Skettled chips.
You like that?
That's solid. I could do that all day.
Nothing better. That's why it's great to have a lot.
All right, moment of truth.
Yeah.
Skettle chips.
Skettle chips.
I'm slightly concerned about
The spike.
a bunch of bones and spines in my mouth, but
That's good. Like a chewy potato chip with a little fishy flavor.
I mean, that effectively doubled our yield,
Oh yeah.
which is kind of cool. All right, where's the DOS boat headed to next?
It sounds like Miles and Cal are gonna go to my hometown, which is pretty cool.
Largemouth buffalo,
Largemouth buffalo.
or the big mouth buffalo.
Big mouth buffalo, I think.
Sorry, I'm a bass fisherman.
Yeah, I get it. That's really interesting though. I'm excited to see what they get into. That boat, man, today, and the whole couple days, phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That's like what I fished out of growing up. So it's like very much a, you know.
It was very rustic, but I almost felt like it was too luxurious compared to DOS boat version 1.0.
Yeah. I could see that.
It was nice. The casting deck could have used a little bit of improvement.
Yeah, you're up there
But-
like this.
You know, when you come from a place with little resources, I feel like it makes you more resourceful.
Yeah,
We adapted,
sure did.
conquered these little bastards.
We're on it. That was really fun, man. And yeah, it was fun to fish out of that little boat.
It was. You know, it always brings me like back to center.
Yeah.
Kind of how I started, how you started.
Yeah, exactly.
How a lot of us started.
After a successful adventure here in Wisconsin, Das Boat is headed 5 hours west into Minnesota territory to learn about the giant and misunderstood and very cool big mouth buffalo. We'll also see if MeatEater's own Ryan Callahan and Miles Nolte enjoy the taste of a few slimy suckerfish. I cannot wait to hear all about it, and you better stay tuned. This is Das Boat.